What do you do before bedtime? You have a routine? And have you ever wondered if there are things you do in the evening that may actually make it more difficult for you to fall and stay asleep at night? What about during the day? You think some of your daytime activities may also impact your sleep? All of these questions get at the heart of healthy sleep practices. Some people refer to these practices as sleep hygiene, but this old term invokes images like flossing in your sleep. That would be impressive. Besides, sleep is not dirty or clean, so we'll stick with healthy sleep practices as a term. The truth is that behaviors during the night and day can impact your ability to fall asleep as well as your sleep quality. Some practices or habits help your sleep, and some hurt your sleep. By understanding these behaviors, you can begin a transformation from a first-class zombie brains into a top-rate sleeping beauty. Or, well, let's be honest, a top-rate sleeping looks good for your age. When learning healthy sleep practices, there are three major objectives to keep in mind. These objectives sound simple, but that's always a trick, right? They are 1, energize, 2, fall asleep fast, and 3, stay asleep. Accomplishing these objectives begins with viewing sleep as more than an 8-hour chunk taken out of the day. It's actually part of a cycle, like the circle you see here, a circle cycle. Your sleep is dependent on what you do 24 hours a day is the point, not just when you close your eyes. It depends on daytime activities as well as nighttime routine. The cycle can be broken down into 2 categories. Awake equals activate, and asleep equals relax and recharge. During the waking hours, the key is incorporating healthy activities that can help keep you awake. Think about activation, energy, enthusiasm, fanatical commitment to squeezing the marrow out of the very bones of life itself. I mean, you get the point. Here are some good places to start in sprucing up your time spent awake. First, exercise. Feel the burn. Run a marathon. Sweat some bullets. I mean, not like actual bullets, but like sweat a lot. Like seriously, like glistening, like those lacquered burgers in the fast food commercials is not enough. Exercise helps. 2, soak up the sun. Exposing yourself to light during the waking hours reminds your body it's time to stay awake. Get sun or light exposure when you wake up and during the day. The day when the sun is out, but not in the late evening when there's shade, right? Am I the only one who remembers that show, that Burt Reynolds show, like Evening Shade? That joke is trending baby boom, not the right demographic here. I gotta get hipper jokes. Man, maybe if I got more sleep, the jokes would be. So what should you do in the evening besides avoiding bright light? In the evening hours, your goal is to prepare your body for sleep. First, start by establishing a solid bedtime routine. Imagine your last stop before bed is a trip to the spa, but without the anxiety of what to wear in the sauna. Turn on some soothing music, some relaxation techniques like deep breathing. Involve your diaphragm in your breathing so that your belly goes out when you take a deep breath in, and when you breathe out, your belly goes in. I mean, it feels backwards when you first try it, but try it. Like seriously, try it. What are we doing here? Try it. Come on, don't make me come through this screen. You're supposed to be learning to relax. This process actually taps into your body's own ability to relax itself and release chemicals that slow your heart rate down and make you feel calmer. Other things to consider adding to your bedtime routine to help you relax may include taking a dip in a warm bath, curling up in a chair with a book in a dim light, or books in the bath, combo, just don't drop it. Listening to a book on tape or relaxing music can also promote sleep and does not require any light at all. Second, you just learned about some of the things to do in the evening to help pave the way for good sleep. However, it is just as important to also emphasize what not to do. So in order to help you remember what not to do in the evening, use the acronym BLUE FACE. Why BLUE FACE? Well, it's actually what the letters spell, like face. But I mean, also, a blue face is not a good sign before bed, or really any time you're not on stage in Vegas percussively hitting trash can lids, So this should help you remember to stay away from these activities during the night hours, at least 4 to 6 hours before bedtime. So blue, this means no blue light before bed. The internal alarm clock in our brains responds to blue light and signals us it's time to be awake. Specifically, blue light suppresses our brain's release of melatonin, which is important in falling asleep. So here we go. Sources of blue light include the sun, and many electronics, such as smartphones, tablets, computers, TVs, essentially anything with an illuminated screen. Let's be real, everything you like to do and probably are doing before bed. So chill out with the Candy Crush and try a book. A lamp and an unlit Kindle book is better than anything with a backlight, if you had to. Be aware that all light has blue light. So dimming lights around bedtime is a good idea, and avoid blue light as much as you can for at least 90 minutes before bedtime. Reading with a dim light or listening to relaxing music or a book on tape are all good ways to limit exposure to blue light near bedtime. I know. No Facebook, no movies, no PlayStation, no Candy Crush, no Tetris for the old school, no Tonight Show. I know. I'm telling you to stop everything you like doing before bed. It sucks. But if you're here right now listening to me, it's for a reason, Maybe this kind of thing is a big part of your reason. So books on tape, music, chillaxation. So face now. F is for feasts. Avoid large meals before bed, especially those full of sugar and spice. Foods to avoid include chocolate, sodas, candy, peanuts, beans, raw fruits and vegetables that can cause gas. Farts? Wait, can I say farts? Farts. High-fat foods. Avoid snacks in the middle of the night, as this can lead to unexpected awakenings associated with hunger. Avoid heavy or spicy meals, as these can trigger heartburn. And it may help to elevate your head off the bed a few inches if indigestion keeps you awake like that. It's important not to go to bed too hungry or too full. If you're hungry at bedtime, try a light snack, such as like a warm glass of milk, a bowl of cereal, or foods high in tryptophan like bananas. Not a lot of meals here. We're talking like a cracker, like 2 crackers, like a cracker and a half. Like it's not time to have a party down in the gullet, folks. Just eat enough so you don't feel like Tom Hanks looks in Castaway. The A in face is for alcohol. Alcohol is considered a depressant, and experience dictates that a drink before bed might help you fall asleep. Hello, nightcap, anyone? A little port? Champagne? However, the relaxing, hypnotic effect of alcohol only lasts a few hours. As your body metabolizes the alcohol, it begins to have a stimulating effect and can lead to awakenings and restless, fragmented sleep in the second half of the night. The bottom line is that while alcohol may seem to help you fall asleep, it does not help you stay asleep. And you may suffer from poor sleep quality and tossing and turning in the middle of the night if you drink alcohol near bedtime, especially if you're drinking excessively. For this reason, it's best to avoid alcohol altogether in the late evening near bedtime. C is for caffeine. This can mean, Red Bull, coffee, soda, tea, foods containing caffeine like chocolate. Caffeine can even be found in many over-the-counter medications such as Excedrin. Caffeine is a stimulant, and consuming anything with caffeine in it can prolong the onset of sleep or prevent it altogether. So for this reason, caffeine should be avoided for 6 to 8 hours before bedtime. And keep in mind that insomniacs are often more sensitive to stimulants than normal sleepers, so a good rule of thumb is to avoid caffeine after lunch. And while we're on the subject of avoiding stimulants, we have to talk nicotine. Although tobacco products may relieve a craving, nicotine is a powerful stimulant. It produces an effect similar to caffeine and should be avoided near bedtime and during the night. The E in face is for exercise. Working out and staying in shape is important for overall health and promotes healthy sleep, but as it relates to healthy sleep practices, the timing of a workout is very important. One more set. Exercise in the evening can make it more difficult to fall asleep because working out ramps up many systems in your body. So avoid the urge for an evening workout or a nighttime run and get your exercise during the day. Finally, here are other few pointers. Sleeping pills or hypnotic medications lose effectiveness in 2 to 4 weeks with regular use, and discontinuing them leads to worsening insomnia. So masking the underlying problem with medications is not the answer. In general, it is best to avoid all hypnotics, over-the-counter or prescription if possible. Let's turn our attention now to another major tenet of healthy sleep practices, the sleep schedule. This involves the timing of sleep, including bedtime and wake time. So let's draw that sleep cycle circle again. These asleep and awake periods need to be kept separate. We can see this through 2 dots, one representing awake time and the other a bedtime. For many people, these 2 points of time shift and bounce around between bedtime and wake time, and they're inconsistent throughout the week. And this constantly changing sleep schedule makes it difficult to fall asleep at the desired time on certain nights because the brain is not trained to a specific bedtime. It is extremely important to think of bedtime and wake time as fixed, permanent points on the 24-hour cycle, just like how they are on your paper. They do not move. You can't make them move. You can't. Stop trying to make them move. Stop. 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 This will help us understand the perfect sleep schedule. Like those 2 dots on the paper, it is simple. Wake up at the same time. Fall asleep at the same time. Bedtime and wake time should be reasonable, about 7 to 9 hours apart. For most working adults, a bedtime between 9 to 11 p.m. and a wake time between 5 and 8 a.m. is reasonable. You should aim to go to bed and wake up at the same time every day. But you know the pitfalls. First, sleeping in excessively on the weekend. When you try to catch up on sleep over the weekend and sleep in several hours past your weekday wake time, your sleep will suffer. Sleeping in for 3 extra hours on Saturday and Sunday is like flying 3 time zones away, and you're effectively jet lagging yourself. But without the little bag of peanuts and like the awkward close seating as compensation. The same is true for staying up late on the weekends. These habits will make it very difficult to fall asleep Sunday and the other nights of the week as well, because your brains are sensitive to changes in your sleep schedule and cannot quickly adapt to a new bedtime or wake time. It's crucial to keep your bedtime and wake time similar on every single day of the week, including days off and holidays. If you are trying to catch up on sleep during the weekend, it's a sign you're behind on sleep. In this case, you should adjust your sleep schedule during the week to ensure you're obtaining 8 hours a night. Second, resist the urge to nap during the day. Are you a lover of naps? Well, it is time for you to find a new hobby. Naps reduce your sleep drive, which means that after napping, you do not have the same amount of inertia to push you into falling and staying asleep. Man, that is good news for me. When I take a nap, I wake up like super cranky, like a sweaty toddler, like jonesing for juice, just like crying and whining and saying, no! Even the things I like Elmo, no! No naps. By now, you know the recommended amount of sleep for adults is 8 hours. Well, what you may not know is that for most people, 8 hours is, on average, the amount of quality sleep a normal person can generate or achieve in a 24-hour period. Spending more time in bed than 8 hours in a 24-hour period leads to poor sleep quality and fragmented sleep. So napping during the day often leads to fragmented sleep at night, including difficulty initiating and maintaining sleep. Think of your sleep as a loaf of bread, like a sourdough, like a baguette, like a Kaiser roll, Pullman loaf, honey wheat, cranberry walnut. Look, it doesn't matter, okay, what kind of bread. Imagine any loaf of bread you want. Sleep is bread. When your sleep is kept in one 8-hour chunk at night without naps, it's solid like a whole loaf. If it's divided between nighttime and naps and cut into several slices, it could easily just fall apart. You could have slices everywhere. Get some squished down on the side of the bag in the fridge and fall apart, so you only use it for meatballs or meatloaf, then it's no good, Maybe someone is grabbing all the good slices and leaving a bunch of heels in the bag and you're holding it and going, dude, how did this loaf get 6 heels in it? Who did that? That's not even a thing. What is going on? The goal is to push those slices together, consolidate all your sleep into one solid chunk or loaf in the nighttime and reduce the fragmentation and keep the sleep whole. Man, I just keep thinking of sandwiches here. I'm sorry. Like a pastrami, like a nice Reuben. Cameraman knows what I'm talking about. We're breaking for lunch after this take. All right, so some naps are unavoidable. And sometimes strategic napping is necessary for safety, including pulling over and taking a nap or calling for a ride if you find yourself sleepy behind the wheel. Always remember to avoid driving or doing other activities in which falling asleep will put you in danger if you're sleepy. But if you do need a nap, try to limit your nap to 15 to 30 minutes by setting an alarm. This will prevent you from entering the deeper stages of sleep. Waking up out of a deep stage of sleep can be disorienting and actually make you feel less refreshed than before the nap. If you can, nap in your bed to reinforce the association your brain and body will create between your bed and sleep. So in summary, keep a fixed bedtime and wake time throughout the week. Ensure you're getting 8 hours of sleep per night, just like our parents tried to make us do when we were kids. It's so annoying how right they were about things like that. Geez, Mom, gosh. It's understandable that life can get in the way. And it can be a real challenge to go to bed on time every night and keep daytime activities from seeping over into the time you should be preparing for bed. But if you can be disciplined and achieve these principles, including avoiding blue light sources, workouts, late night food binges, you will sleep better during the night and be more rested during the day. And this translates into more productivity the next day with plenty of energy. The final area of focus for healthy sleep practices is the location where the sleep is happening in your bedroom or sleep environment. What does your bedroom or sleep environment look like? Picture it. What should it look like? Imagine you're deep inside a cave. Listen. What do you hear? Absolutely nothing. What do you see? Well, it's dark, not much. This cave is quiet, dark, peaceful. The temperature is perfect, not too warm, not too cool. Now imagine the most comfortable bed in the middle of this cave, upside down with your flying rodent brothers. Sorry, wait a minute. Waiting for the chance to boil into the sunset, sucking down mass quantities of big juicy bugs. That's not the right kind of bed, right? But the point of this exercise is not that it's a cave. It's that you should have a bedroom that resembles a cave to achieve optimal sleep. You need to create a pleasant, dark place where you can rest comfortably. 2 words, blackout curtains. That's what I use. Wait, is it 3 words? Block out curtains, blackout. So that's like 2-ish words for you. Okay, so there's 3 key points to remember to create the ideal bedroom environment. First, quiet. Your bedroom should be quiet, or at least devoid of, intermittent and unpredictable sounds. If you live near a busy street or a train track, noise can be blocked with a set of earplugs or, white noise from like a box fan. Second, darkness. Keep your bedroom as dark as possible throughout the night to avoid exposure to light that can suppress your brain's release of melatonin. Light can be blocked with blinds or a mask. You can get blackout fabric inexpensively and make blinds for a fraction of the cost of buying them. Also remember to avoid having a clock facing your bed in the bedroom. Digital clocks emit light, and staring at any clock increases anxiety about being unable to sleep. Oh, 3 a.m., 3:01. If you have a clock in your room, turn it around or cover it at bedtime. Third, comfort. Make sure your mattress is not too hard, not too soft, your pillow's the right height and firmness for your sleep position, and no peas anywhere. Even under like a dozen mattresses, you're going to feel that, princess, I guarantee. Also avoid extremes of temperature. Literature's shown that between 68 to 70 degrees is close to ideal, although some people prefer it slightly warmer or colder. I like 64 myself. Now that you've created the ideal bedroom, it is important to review the purpose of the bedroom. Activities in your bed and bedroom should be limited to only 2 things. 1, sleep, and 2, intimacy. This seems obvious, but the bedroom is often used for many other things, including watching television, talking on the phone, doing homework, eating, or just plain hanging out. Look, you're not a teenager anymore, right? Who comes home from school, yells at mom, runs upstairs, slams the door, and does everything in that room away from your family. There are other rooms in your house now. Everything besides sleep and intimacy should be avoided in the bedroom because the brain forms associations with locations and activities. The goal is to match the amount of time you spend in bed with the amount of time you sleep. When these are closely matched, you have high sleep efficiency. If you do 8 different things in bed, your brain will associate the bed with all of those different things, and this can lead to being wide awake in bed at night because the brain is accustomed to being awake when you're in the bedroom. You must train your brain and your body to learn that the bedroom and bed equals a sleep zone. Also keep in mind that many of the things you may be doing besides sleeping in bed break the healthy sleep practices already discussed. So keep it simple. Bedroom and bed equals sleep and intimacy. Intimacy? Wow, this is a little more PG-13, than I was expecting. One more thing to keep in mind is that the bed is only for sleep and intimacy. It's not for being awake. If you can't sleep in bed, don't just be there, and worry about counting sheep, those terrifying little jerks with those teeth and those eyes hiding behind the weird, flatty, bah! Get out of bed. Do something relaxing in the dark outside of the bedroom, such as listening to music or a book on tape. Return to bed when you feel sheepy. Sleepy, sorry. Or scary. Look, everyone has different fears, okay? So stop judging me. Like, I don't like sheep. They smell musty. They're musty. They are musty. I don't like them. And I don't appreciate being judged like that. I'm just trying to help. Return to bed and do what you're meant to do in bed, sleep. Remember that being sleepy involves that heavy eyelid sensation with head bobbing, like when you're in history class in middle school. This is a different feeling from feeling tired or fatigued, which you may feel after a night of poor sleep or listening to my poor jokes. To summarize, the goal of adhering to healthy sleep practices is improvement in the quality of your sleep. The practices we covered should equip you to achieve the following objectives. 1, energize. With effort and practice, your energy level will be boosted during the day to decrease daytime sleepiness and increase your sleep drive. 2, fall asleep fast. Avoid poor sleep practices and embrace good ones to achieve sleep right after you tuck yourself in. And 3, stay asleep. Following healthy sleep practices can help you sleep soundly through the night without interruption. And the keys to energizing during the day, falling asleep fast, and staying asleep include 1, establishing good daytime as well as nighttime habits and activities that promote a healthy sleep cycle. 2, securing consistent bedtime and wake time. And 3, optimizing your sleep environment. Now that was a lot of talk. The good news is I am a fascinating presenter. Even so, especially if you didn't sleep well that night, you might have only been half listening. So in order to best equip you with this new set of sleep skills, your participation following this module is requested. In order to prepare, think about which healthy sleep practices you're already doing or not doing. Which ones make the most sense to you? What obstacles might lie in the way of you practicing these principles? And how can you remove those obstacles? Thanks for your attention. Sleep well and be well.